I wanted to check in for the first time in months. Basically, here I am in Rockford, Illinois, and it's mid-May, finally warm here. And I made a decision over the weekend. Decision was very simple, but yet hard for me. Back in Boston in April, only about a month ago, Linden won the Boston Marathon in harsh conditions. It was rainy, cold, a lot of your top athletes dropped out, but she made it through all the way to the end. And there's something about that race that really kicked me in gear. I think it was the fact that she started her first marathon just barely at 2:44 her first, and eventually 6 years later she won the race. And that just hit me. It was hard, just in that moment it just hit me that she started and it took her years to get there, but she got there. And I know part of my personality wants it now, and that's part of my generation probably, but that's kind of what was going through my mind for a lot of the years that I was running, having hard times to run, different things that were going on in my mind and psychologically. So I went back to the track, and I've been running different paces the past year or so, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes long, sometimes short, different things. And I just said, okay, what if I just gave up everything? No more wine drinking, no more bad foods, making sure I sleep, don't drive to many crazy places, just focus on the running and see what happens. Well, this past weekend, I finally hit a aha moment that I might be able to actually do this. I am very, very shocked, but I think it's possible. Went from 12 to 13 miles. It was 13 miles was my Saturday run. The first time I run 13 in a long time. I hit roughly between, my first mile was 7:17, and then the last mile was probably around 7:10, but I averaged roughly around 7:12 mile pace the whole way. And it didn't feel hard, it felt pretty easy, and that's just my long run. I'm like, okay. And I'm running my fast days, my tempo runs, at averaging around 6:22 pace, which is obviously nowhere near Olympic caliber. But then I got to thinking, this could be doable. Because in February of 2020, they'll have the Olympic trials in Atlanta. We're now in May of 2018, so it's roughly February, March, April, May, roughly 21 months, roughly 22, 21 months to get there, which is over a year and a half. And if I don't focus on a marathon or focus on a certain race to make sure I hit certain paces and then have to go through cycles, I think I can do this. I really think I can do this. And it started getting me excited. So as you've been watching my Instagram posts, you started seeing the fact that I'm actually doing more about what I feel. So you have a picture of me about what I'm doing and my thoughts for the day. And when I first started the Instagram page and the YouTube channel of Running Free with JH, I was trying to think of being a coach, teacher, and all that stuff. And I kind of squashed all that and said, you know what? I'm just going to do my thoughts, what I think, and what's going on in my mind that day. And that's how the inspiration for what's going on my Instagram page right now. That's what it is. It's basically what I did for the workout and my thoughts on things. And that's kind of where that's going. And it probably evolve as the next year and a half goes. I'm not looking for money out of it. I'm just trying to document this journey that I am about to undertake. Actually, no, excuse me, I am actually in it. So this week starts week 4 of this program that I designed myself. No one's ever done this kind of program that I think of, because let's face it, you have groups out there that want you to do long runs, short runs, tempo runs. They want you to do hills and all these different things. I created something completely different that I got different things from different books I've read, different coaches I've talked to. But it's a decision that I had to make, and decide the fact I have to run my way, the way I understand, the way I've learned, and live life on my terms. That's what I've decided to do. Live it on my terms. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna live life for me. And actually, believe it or not, it's actually harder than you think, because I didn't believe I could do this. For the past couple of years, I've been debating whether I was gonna do it. I wanted to run in Rio. I wanted to run in London, those Olympics, and I could have run it. I was in training for it. And then you start getting the negative emotions in your head. People around you are not the right people you should have around you. You start getting people tell you what you can and can't do. You start believing these things. You have negative thoughts that come up in your own head. You start believing then. And it's not the best thing to do. It's not. So I decided that screw it. I'm gonna go all out and see what happens. So my goal right now is to make the Olympic trials and start on the starting line in February of 2020. That's the goal right now. Now, why don't you ask, now the next thing comes to my thought in my head is, well, if you made a decision to do that, can't you make a decision to make the team and then win a medal or something? And I thought to myself, okay, I am scared out of my mind. I am scared. The reason I'm scared is I'm scared that I can't do it. I'm scared that I'm not ready for it. I'm scared of all these different things. And it sounds retarded in a way in my head. It sounds stupid, the fact that I am scared. It's like, what are you scared about? You don't make it. But I'm giving up so much to do this. I'm giving up a lot. And I don't like it. I really don't like how much I'm having to give up. I don't. But I understand that you think about, I mean, I'm from New England, so I'm sorry for out there, but I was following Tom Brady over the Super Bowl of the past last year and this year. And I know last year they won, this year they didn't. But you think of his regimen and what he gave up. And then I watched his Facebook documentary about him, about what he did. He gave up everything to be the best he can be. And then when he retires, say he retires at 45 like he says, or maybe earlier, longer, whatever it is, and he lives to be 100, he's got now many decades afterwards where he can live and eat the way he wants to. I think of Hugh Jackman, who played Wolverine for all those years. He was on a rigid, he gave up all these different things he couldn't do, so that way he could be that character Wolverine. And now he's living life and enjoying it, and he's able to look back on what he accomplished. And so that's what's going through my mind as I start this whole journey. And so I had to make a decision. I had to throw it out there to the world. And any of you guys that find this, this is the weekend that I actually cemented the decision. I think in the past few weeks, I made the decision, but it wasn't really concrete. But this weekend, over the past 48 hours, on that Saturday run, which was yesterday, and today, which is Sunday, today is what, the May 13th, 2018. So yesterday's run on the 12th, the 13 miles, kind of solidified my mind that I can do this if I just go head first in. Now, it doesn't mean I'm gonna have any, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna have any bad days. It doesn't mean I'm not gonna have days where I might get injured or that stuff. It doesn't mean it's not gonna happen. It just means I'm gonna go for it and allow life to happen. That's what I'm gonna do. And I think that's the best thing to do for me. So those are my thoughts on decision, why I made those decisions, and maybe one day I'll make it more clear on decision as I wrap my head around it. But these are my preliminary thoughts on my decision of making the Olympic trials in 22 months from now, February 2020 in Atlanta. I think it's gonna be an interesting ride. I have to do it here in Illinois where it's very windy. Right now it's not so windy, but most days it's windy, so I'm running on an indoor track, which is worse compared to, it's better than a treadmill, I will admit that, but it's worse compared to running outside. Outside would be better because you're with the elements. I could deal with hills and all these different things that happens when you're running on actual roads, trails, all that stuff. I can't do a lot of that stuff because the paces I'm trying to hit on my fast days, with the wind being 15, 25 miles an hour, depending on what's going on with the weather, doesn't really hit what I have to do. So I have to run around the track. So I ran yesterday 13 miles, which is 130 laps. So yes, 10 laps is 1 mile on this track. So it's a very, very small track. And how do I get through it? I listen to podcasts. For the past few weeks, I've been just listening to Joe Rogan. Believe it or not, Joe Rogan, I like the way he questions people. I like the fact that he has different people on with different views, and I'm able to have these conversations that I don't get to be part of, but I get to be like a fly on the wall. And that's kind of what I do. When I'm doing these laps, I'm able to get the pace down, and then once I get that, I can allow my mind to kind of get away from the pace, because all you have to do is check your watch every lap to make sure you're on pace, and then you just let your mind go in those podcasts. That's what I've been doing, and it's been working very well. So that's my decision. That's the reasons I did it, and this is my weekly check-in, and we'll see how everything plays out. Have a great day, have a great summer, and oh, by the way, the biggest fear I have is not being good enough, not being what I set myself out to, not set myself out to be, because I've had this fear that I was inadequate, or this belief, this false belief that I was inadequate, and it was definitely reinforced by the people I had around me. I had to cut all these people out of my life in order to get that accomplished, because if I kept them in, or I allowed them to stay in, or if I kept going around them, I was still going to be in this mindset. Some of those people left because I threw them out. Other people left because they left. Whatever the reason why we're not together anymore when it comes to these people that are come in and go in our lives, I believe it's for the best. And I'm going to make it on this journey. I'm going to meet some incredible people along the way. And I cannot wait to see what it would be 2 years from now. 2 years, it'd be May 2020. And if everything goes the way I envision it to go, which I know is a bad way of looking at it, when things go as way I envision it to go, I'll be getting ready for the Olympic Games. If not, I'll be trying to go the next step on my journey past there. So that's me. Have a great day.